Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the show. We've got a major development happening when it comes to the Russia-Ukraine war and Donald Trump wanting to end the war. Vladimir Putin did an interview last night with a local Russian media group, and he said, if the election, quote, was not stolen from Trump in 2020, there would be no war in Ukraine. You heard that right. Another thing I want to point out, I'm a huge Trump supporter. I love Trump. I've been with him since 2015. And when Trump got into office on Monday, he fulfilled hundreds of his campaign promises, except for one, ending the Russia-Ukraine war in 24 hours. And I don't think it's because Trump doesn't want to end the war. Trump wants to end the war. But do the other sides, does Zelensky want the money to stop coming in? Does Putin really want to stop where they are and not take entire Ukraine? I don't know. But I do want to play you this clip and get your thoughts on it.
I'd like to say that Russia never refused to come to contact with the United States administration. And it is through no fault of ours that the previous administration refused to communicate. I always had business-like relations with the previous US president that were very business-like and pragmatic.
By the way, I apologize for their interpreter. He did a horrible job.
But there was trust as well. Now, if he had been the president, if the victory wasn't stolen from him in 2020, maybe the Ukrainian crisis that arose in 2022 would have never appeared. Both the Russian...
Now, I watched the entire clip and I watched it in Russian. Someone who speaks Russian, Ukrainian, English. Putin, you just heard even the translator there say, if the presidency was not stolen from Trump in 2020, then maybe this conflict would have never even started. Here's where the conflict started. NATO. There have been all these promises made to Ukraine about, you're going to be part of NATO, Ukraine. We're going to take you in, and you're going to be European Union. Ukraine was never going to join NATO or the European Union, and it never is going to be a part of NATO or the European Union. I feel bad for the Ukrainian people who have been lied to and they believed it. You know, the West, Europe, and the European Union and NATO, you know, they took a shiny object and said, Ukraine, look at this. We'll give this to you. And they're like, oh, we're going to join Ukraine. For the last 31 years, the Ukrainian government and people have been running after shiny objects. Oh, we're going to be European Union. We're going to be in NATO. And NATO just keeps using them, killing them, using them to go against Russia on behalf of NATO, because NATO doesn't want to go to war with Russia. So why would NATO go to war with Russia when they can lie to Ukraine about them joining NATO, but they'll never join NATO, but they will die on behalf of NATO? Here's the Russia-Ukraine conflict. Imagine there's a soccer match, right? It's a soccer match. Except Ukraine is part of the game, except they're not playing soccer. Ukraine is the soccer ball. And it's Russia versus the West. They are the teams. And Ukraine is just the ball that is being kicked back and forth. And I feel bad for Ukraine. And I think Trump is actually a president who's a realist. He's realist like me. I'm a realist. I look at things as they are. If somebody tells you they're going to propose to you for 30 years every day, they're like, I'm going to propose to you. You're going to be my wife. After 30 years, come on, wake up and smell the roses. You're never getting married. And so Ukraine was fed all these lies. You're going to be part of the European Union. You're a European brother. You're going to be part of NATO. For 31 years, they've been promised, but they won't even allow them to fill out an application. European Brotherhood. But Trump is on the scene. I believe, last I checked the White House website, Donald Trump is planning on meeting with Russia and Ukraine, with Putin and Zelensky, within the coming 30 days. I really want this war to end because we're not funding it anymore. Trump stopped all funding. No more money for Ukraine. No more weapons for Ukraine. Nothing. So they want the deal done. The Russian economy is being destroyed through sanctions right now. They want a deal done. They're losing soldiers. It's ugly, but I'm praying for peace. I'm praying for this war to end so that those countries can get back to normal. And I want Ukraine audited. Every single penny, every rocket, every bullet accounted for. And whoever stole American taxpayer dollars, even if it's a penny, they need to be brought back here and tried in the courts of law and held accountable. And Ukraine needs to pay off their debts, but they don't have any money. They got natural resources. I hope Trump goes in and takes their natural resources because we've given them so much money. We need something back. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I'll keep you updated on this. From Putin's mouth himself, if Trump was president in 2020, this war would have never started. Yeah, Democrats, but I guess he's a puppet of Putin. Sure.